like McGregor. He would like to get that down a little bit, but he has been pitching well. McGregor, a lifetime mark of 117 wins, 75 losses, making his first appearance against the Tigers here in 1985. McGregor has had some interesting numbers against Detroit.
The second baseman.
He's 11-7 lifetime, but he's 1-6 in his last 8 starts against the Tigers. He is 4-5 here at Memorial Stadium against Detroit, but he has lost his last 5 here to Detroit. So here's Lou Whitaker, the all-star second baseman for the Detroit Tigers, to lead it off. Whitaker having a fine year, hitting .306, 12 home runs, and 36 RBIs. He will draw Gross up on the grass at third. First ball hitting and popping it foul right side. Rayford over, and what a play! He fought everybody and came up with a baseball. Well, we're underway.
Talk about right out of the chute. Watch Floyd Rayford. And you teach catchers to do this and outfielders to do this. Get to the fence. The fence is always going to be there. The ball is what's moving, and Rayford catches it in the heel of the glove. What a play to start off the ball game. One pitch, super play.
Yes, sir. And right off the bat, our crew, Chet Forty, our director, and our producer, Peter Lassert, they got him right out of the seats in a hurry. As here's Tommy Brookins. Brookins takes the strike, 0-1. Hitting .263, 3 home runs, and 22 RBIs. Pops him up right side. Eddie Murray. There's 2 gone. That is something that you can see when Scott McGregor is right. He's the type of pitcher, Tim, that you go back to the bench and say, you know, how did I miss that? How did I pop that up? But all of a sudden at the end of the night, if McGregor is right, you're sitting back looking at an 0 for 4.
Doesn't have an overpowering fastball, obviously, but change is off his change. He's got several variations of off-speed pitches, and you really need him against this fastball hitting club, because that's what the Tigers are.
Here's Kurt Gibson hitting .288. There you see that career mark against McGregor. He has hit him well, .455. This man has tremendous power. Off-speed curveball. 0-2. McGregor's a type that'll, you could put him and classify the type of pitcher as you look at that again, Timmy.
This is an off-speed curveball out of the strike zone, and I would think Kirk Gibson would get another one just like that pitch.
There's a high fastball. He is gone. So the Tigers are gone. 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And right now, let's go to New York and a report from Al Trautwig on the game today between the Blue Jays and the Moore starting lineup. Jim Dwyer in left field and leading off. Batting second and in right field will be Lee Lacy. Hitting third and at shortstop will be Cal Ripken Jr. Batting fourth and at first base, Eddie Murray. Hitting fifth and in center field will be Freddie Lynn. Batting sixth and the designated hitter Larry Sheets. Hitting seventh and at third base will be Wayne Gross, with Floyd Rayford batting eighth, and he will do the catching, batting ninth, and at second base Len Cicada.
And there's your defense. Larry Herndon, Chet Lemon, and Kirk Gibson in right field. Tom Brookins, Doug Flynn, Lou Whitaker, the second baseman. Doug Flynn in there for the injured Pat Trammell. Evans at first, Parrish behind the plate. And O'Neill is on the mound, a 3-1 record. Randy O'Neill, a 2.16 ERA, his 6th ball game of the year, and I'm interested in watching this young fellow work, D.
I am too, and it'll be Jimmy Dwyer who'll get his first look at him as he delivers low. The count is 1-0. O'Neill, 25 years of age. He's a 6'2", 195-pounder from Ashland, Kentucky. Attended the University of Florida. You see the numbers on O'Neill. This is inside, the count 2-0. O'Neill, from what we understand, is a little bit of a sinker, slider, but an excellent forkball type pitcher.
Talking to Lance Parrish before the ball game, and he said he has one of the best split finger fastballs in the organization. Kind of revealing.
That's a little low, and he falls behind Dwyer, 3-0.
Especially with the success Jack Morris had with that pitch last year.
Oh, boy, that is true. Dwyer hitting .272, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. Well, you think you can go back to their former pitching coach, Roger Craig, who taught a lot of those pitchers that split finger fastball. There's a strike, and the count 3-1. Sparky Anderson down in that Tiger dugout. George feels very confident. When I say George, well, that is his name, his given name. I played high school ball against that man, so every time, you'll excuse me, I refer to him as George at times, not Sparky. People have said, well, wait, isn't that Sparky Anderson, not George Anderson? I said, well, they're both the same.
I played minor league ball against him, and I referred to him as Sparky, not George.
You're younger than I am. Did you look at Earl Weaver? Earl back at the helm. Dwyer draws the base on ball. Another leadoff hitter aboard, and that'll bring on the veteran Lee Lacy, hitting .298 with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. Lacy injured his thumb in spring training. Had to have some surgery. Tore some ligaments, cartilage, had some bone chips. Right now it's being held together with a 3-inch pin in the beginning. Well, it was in the beginning, and now he's back and still working his way into shape. Lacy, good hitter. And there's the breaking pitch, and the count is 0-1. Infield, double play depth of Brookins and Flynn on the left side, Whitaker and Evans on the right side. You see Evans holding Dwyer. The outfield about straight away. Third base side, Brookins will go to first base. Little awkward throw right there. Had thoughts of second base.
Tom Brookins did right there what we used to say, think second, go to first. He had that bailout throw and led with his elbow. He really did want to go to second base, but saw that Dwyer was there and properly went to first.
Here's Cal Ripken Jr. Cal hitting .277. He has 11 home runs, 49 RBIs. Entering tonight's game, 4,638 consecutive innings, 513 straight ball games on that outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Boy, this young man has put it all together. Some people right now wondering whether he might be a little tired. They've questioned the range on the left side of that Baltimore infield. Says Don Denkinger. 0-2 the count.
Calvin went too far on this swing. That's that split finger fastball that we were talking about, and you see the bottom fall out of it. And I don't think there's ever been a pitch thrown in the game that you get more check swings on than that split finger fastball. It's the illusion of the strike, but it rarely stays in the strike zone.
0-2 the count. Dwyer at second, no score in the ball game. 1 out, bottom of the first inning. That breaking pitch outside, and the count moves to 1-2. The infield back for Ripken. The outfield straight away and deep, as you see Dwyer at second. See where Brookins, he'll respect his power. At right side, they're deep. Evans way off the line at first. There's a base hit right field by Whitaker. A late jump by Dwyer. They're going to have to hold him at third. Gibson, an excellent arm. Hits the cutoff man Evans, and the Orioles have runners at first and third with 1 out to Eddie Murray.
Well, Jimmy Dwyer had to hold up at second base because of the line drive. Whitaker had a shot at this ball. This also a pitch out of the strike zone, that split finger fastball. And Kirk Gibson with that strong arm. There's a situation that with 2 out, Dwyer running all the way, Dwyer probably would have been an easy target at home. Because he had to hold up for the line drive, the Orioles have runners at first and third and only 1 out.
And they've still got the double play situation in order. Well, you could see what Ripken was doing right there on the fork ball, on the check swing, or the split finger fastball, I should say. He turned around and said something to Parrish as if was that split finger fastball. Whether Lance said anything or not, that time he just went the opposite way with it. Down low.
Catchers don't usually accommodate hitters like that.
No, not really. At least they didn't used to. I would hate to think so as you look at Dwyer at third and Ripken at first. But a lot of hitters, the good hitters, will take that split finger fastball and they'll move it to the opposite field just as Ripken did. That's hit to Whitaker. Could be two. They go to short for one and they double him up. Murray unhappy. Jimmy Williams unhappy. But that will do it. Baltimore is gone. No runs on a hit. There's no errors as you take that look at it one more time.
Well, Doug Flynn, normally a second baseman throughout his career, a weak throw right here, but it does get Murray arguably close.
After
very
one,
close.
there's no score, and we'll return to Monday Night Baseball after this message and a word from our local stations.
One of our stories at 11.
As we go to the top half of the second inning, it'll be Lance Parrish to lead it off. He'll be followed by Chet Lemon and Larry Herndon in that order. Parrish hitting .284, 11 home runs, 49 RBIs. Big, strong, right-hand hitting Tiger catcher. Scotty McGregor and the Orioles, they had a little bit of a scare this year, complaining of blurred vision. And that was the second time as that ball is ripped down the left field line. That's going to go into the corner. Jimmy Dwyer overplaying the carom. Parrish on his way to second, has to hurry, and he's there with a double. So the Tigers pick up their first hit of the evening. A leadoff double by Parrish here in the second.
Of the four Tiger hitters, three have swung at the first pitch, and this time successfully. A rope to left, and that'll blur your vision. Not trying to be too mean now. But I understand that with Scotty, it was his diet at first, wasn't it? Well, originally what it...
They had thought that it might have been something like that. It happened in '72. He was seeing big spots. He had kind of a tingly vision problem. It would last maybe 20 minutes or so, then it would go away as Chet Lemon stands in, hitting .271. Push to the right side and a good bunt. They've got to hurry. Murray to McGregor. Not in time. Parrish goes to third.
Oh, this is kind of a two-way threat right here. If Chet Lemon doesn't get a base hit, he still advances Lance Parrish to third base. McGregor a little bit late covering, and Lemon diving into first just to beat the foot. The hand is quicker than the foot.
And that's the way that proved to be. So now the Tigers have runners at first and third. Only nobody out. And here's Larry Herndon hitting .236, 5 home runs, and 16 RBIs. But anyway, getting back to McGregor, the thing that made it so scary from the mound, he would just see the catcher. And almost no peripheral vision whatsoever. That's fouled out of play. 0-1 the count. Had a tough time picking up the batter. Sometimes he'd throw a pitch and he'd have to jerk his head to the side to see what would happen with the pitch. And boy, that can be scary when you're standing out there starting at 60 feet 6 inches away. And by the time you finish up, you might be somewhere around the 57-foot mark. You see right there what Herndon has done at Memorial Stadium. Hit very well, 433 and 6 home runs. To center field, Lynn will have a play. Both runners will tag. Parrish from third, Lemon from first, bluffs, and he holds right there. Strong throwing arm by Lynn, but Parrish scores, and it's 1-0. The Tigers on top. Credit Herndon with his 17th RBI of the year. Here's Darrell Evans. Darrell at .264, 14 home runs, 32 RBIs. There was talk just prior to that trading deadline by the Tigers, and the name mentioned many times was this man standing at home plate and Darrell Evans. And all of a sudden he went out and he caught fire. And he's been playing well. Now they get time.
I think when Darrell brought the bat back, he hit the glove of Floyd Rayford, and the umpire, the home plate umpire Don Dinkinger, called time, and that's what he should have done. Sometimes when that catcher's given the target, the backswing will catch that mitt.
There's a fastball for the strike. Well, from that center field camera shot, I think an excellent. You can sit right at home and think along with Floyd Rayford and Scotty McGregor. Last time you saw the one go down, meaning the fastball. See, he wants it inside. Evans, like so many power hitters, likes to extend the arm. And misses inside. So the count of ball and a strike. Eddie Murray at first base, he'll do some decoying, especially with some of his veteran pitchers out there, a Flanagan, a McGregor, people like that. He'll start off the bag. Sometimes he'll bluff, and then he'll move back to the bag for a pickoff attempt.
McGregor picked off 11 runners last year. He's picked off 33 in his career. Both he and Mike Flanagan have outstanding moves to first base.
There's that slow curveball, and the count misses 2-1. Well, the thing that makes both pitchers successful in that pickoff move to first base is they have great balance on their back leg, on their left foot, and they can bring that left leg up and hold it. They can freeze you. And if you want to try and cheat and get a little running start on them, they just go on over to first. Hard to right field. Back to the wall is Lacy. This ball is gone. Home run, Evans. 3-0 Detroit.
You remember that no ball and one strike pitch? Darrell Evans remembered it. That's the one where Scott McGregor missed inside. Then he came back with a 1-1 curveball. And now Evans looks for that fastball inside, and he gets it. The luxury of being ahead in the count. You see him extend those arms and opening up, and pops that inside fastball out of here.
It's a good hitter's park here at Memorial Stadium when you talk about going down the lines, because it is only 360 down, or 309 down each line. Then just moving out a little ways, it's 360. As you look at the designated hitter, Alex Sanchez, hitting .265, 4 home runs and 8 RBIs. Hit to the right side. There's Sakata. He goes to Murray, and there's 2 gone. Now, that particular case right there, you could see that McGregor was trying to keep that ball in, and he did not get it in. As a matter of fact, the first pitch he threw to Evans, Rayford gave the sign the fastball wanted in. He got it low and over the plate. He missed inside with a fastball after that. As you look at Doug Flynn, the shortstop, I mentioned playing most of his career at second base. Now at short, Alan Trammell out, as we mentioned at the top of the show, with that sore right forearm. 0-2 the count.
Sammy Stewart warming for the Orioles. Their bullpen.
Right away, Earl Weaver says, I'm not too sure I like what I see. I know he doesn't like the 3 runs on the board. 1 ball and 2 strikes account.
He had pretty good speed on first base when Evans hit that ball out too, Don. And a lot of times a left-handed pitcher can get the bad formula working. 20% about the hitter at first, and only thinking 80% about the hitter. That's a bad formula. There's Sammy.
Sammy Lee Stewart, record of 2-3, down there warming up already here in the 2nd inning. And the thing about Lemon, with his speed, he has never been a good base stealer. Does not have a stolen base this year. That's to right field. Lacy coming in now has to. Jack Morris.
Jack, winner of 19 games last year. It's amazing. The Tigers won 104 ball games last year and didn't have a 20-game winner.
Here's Freddie Lynn as we go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Lynn hitting .265, 13 home runs, 40 RBIs. Young right-hander Randy O'Neal, 3-1 coming into tonight's game. Missing inside. Lynn missed the last 2 games that Baltimore has played due to a sore back. Played in the first 69 games of the season prior to that injury. His batting average is not what he would like it. In his last 10 games, for instance, hitting 167. But during that time, he's had 5 home runs in his last 15 games. Now the count goes 3-1.
Yeah, Don, he leads the Orioles in home runs with 13. And notice how he's opened his stance. You remember how closed that stance used to be? He's opened that right foot a little bit.
Off the end of the bat, that'll loop into right field for the base hit. So Lynn's aboard, and Gibson will get it back in. Freddie Lynn, the leadoff single. There's a National League final from this afternoon at Montreal. 3-2. The Expos over the Cardinals. Lucas 3-0 over Horton 0-2. McGee is third home run of the year. Willie McGee. And there's another one. Atlanta over San Francisco. Smith over Krukow. Suter the save is 15th. Murphy his 19th home run of the year, and Harper hit his 7th. Here's Larry Sheets. Takes down low, the count 1-0. This man has been a very pleasant surprise as far, well, maybe not a surprise really, but coming out of that minor league organization, hitting .277, 9 home runs, 30 RBIs. But I was talking about this ballpark, Timmy. Most of the time you'll see the outfielders bunch hitters, because if they hit it down the line, it's going to carry them back to the outfielders anyway. It's only 309. There's a little looping liner. Whitaker back to first, not in time.
I think this ballpark ought to be a lesson to all outfielders then. Balls down the line are doubles.
That's exactly right. What they try and do is take the triple away from in that power alley. It's 387 to the deep power alleys and 405 to straightaway center field. There's Wayne Gross. Wayne hitting .262, 8 home runs and 14 RBIs.
I think basically it's up to the pitcher and catcher to keep the hitter from hitting the balls down the line. Some of them you can't prevent, like that flare that Freddie Lynn just hit. But if you bunch outfielders, generally speaking, you're better off cutting off the gap.
1 ball and no strikes, and I think you'll see a lot of managers do that today, especially on the artificial surfaces.
Sir. Yes, sir.
1-0 the count. I don't know whether Parrish agreed with that last call or not. His shoulders just kind of drooped. That's down low, and the count 2-0. This man has been hot. Wayne Gross has hit .448 in his last 12 ball games, 13 for 29. Raised his average from .214 where it was on June 2nd. Right now he's at a season high at .262. Takes a strike, 2-1 the count. In a position like this with young Randy O'Neal or whoever, your club gets out and gets you that lead right away. The thing you don't want to do is to be putting base runners on. You can afford to go out and throw a little better strike, I think, Timmy, than what you ordinarily would in a scoreless ball game or a close 1-run game in the late inning.
You could throw a fatter strike.
That's
you don't
right.
have to be as fine. Use the fat part of the plate more than you would in a close ball game.
Two and two the count. Gross going after a bad pitch. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 1 on. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the Tigers lead it 3-0. Infield. They're swung well to their left on that left side. There's that split finger fastball. You can see how far Brookins is off the line and how far Flynn is over towards second base. Look at that left side of that infield. They have got the word that Mr. Gross is a pull hitter. Indeed he is. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. Randy O'Neal walks Gross, Lynn to second, and here's Floyd Rayford, and he has been red hot. See the numbers on Floyd: 362, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. An interesting story, I think, about Rayford. If you talk about and use the phrase that perseverance pays off.
Boy.
It does for this man right here. That's fouled away.
I asked him before the game, I said, as we look at the National League scores, LA over Cincinnati 2-0 in the second.
There you see the Pirates 1-0 over New York in the fourth inning. Cubs and the Phillies tied at 1 in the third. Luke to right, playable. Gibson there. Lynn tagging. Bluffs. He won't go anywhere.
I was talking to Floyd Rayford before the ball game, and I said, well, you played every other position, and now you're finding out that catching is the easiest position to play. He said, oh no, by no means. He said, matter of fact, I used to catch in high school, and he did. He caught 15 or so games in high school. But this is really the first year that he has caught behind the plate, and that's it. Other years he's been a third baseman, he's been a second baseman, and filled in at other positions. But I guess he considers himself a genuine catcher now. Unfortunately. Take a beating behind the plate. Boy, that Parrish, what a bull he is.
Here's Len Sakata as he takes a strike, hitting .220 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Well, Rayford originally started out in the California organization, came over to the Baltimore organization, then ended up with St. Louis, then back with Baltimore. And here he is. And this is Sakata, line drive right to Whitaker. Side retired, no runs on a hit, no errors. The Birds leave 2, and we're through. So Whitaker leads it off as we go to the top of the third. Whitaker fouled out to Floyd Rayford on the first pitch of the ball game. Rayford making an excellent catch. Whitaker. That's fouled away. He'll go after that first pitch quite a bit. You would have to consider Lou Whitaker in that first ball fastball hitter category. Shallow right center, Sakata out calling, and it's Sakata for the catch.
I think for about another 2 innings it's going to be a little tough to see here. An overcast sky, and every summer about this time of night it's tough to see, as you see. So any ball in the air, you try to remind yourself to run everything out.
Boy, that is so true, and especially where they are getting a little bit of a break is what you just mentioned, the overcast. Here's Tommy Brookins. He popped to Murray at first his first time at bat. Takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Brookins, he is the kind of player, he's the Muggsy type I like to refer to. Down low, he'll get right down the dirt and rub his nose in it for you. Two balls and a strike. There's Earl Weaver down.
Tom, as always.
There's the strike, and the count goes to 2-2. Anderson's had little talks with Brookins, just trying to get him to be more of a contact hitter. Don't worry about the home runs. They will come. That's queued up the first base side. Murray will try to get it while it's in fair territory. He does. Steps on the bag. And there's 2 gone. That'll bring on Gibson. That'll be coming your way next Monday night right here on ABC Sports. It'll be the Mets and the Reds from Cincinnati, and the Brewers and the Angels from Anaheim Stadium. That'll be live 8 o'clock Eastern. Certainly can check your local listings for the game and time in your area. 3-0. The Detroit Tigers on top, and here's Gibson. Well, we'll be out at the Big A, Timmy.
Yes, sir. Milwaukee Brewers, George Bamberger and company, and Gene Mock, the little general. Here's Billy Muffet sitting next to Sparky Anderson, the pitching coach for the Tigers.
Very quickly, it's 0-2 to Gibson. Kurt struck out his first time at bat. Missing low and away. The count of ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, Kirk Gibson really came into his own last year with 27 home runs.
He's got power.
I think it's carried over, too. He's got 16 this year.
Jammed him, foul back in the count 1-2. He's one of the very few left-handers to hit one over the roof at Comiskey Park. He did it this year, and I mean it was still going as it went over the transformer by the light standard on top of the right field roof.
I understand Lou Whitaker hit one over there, too, huh?
That was at Tiger Stadium. That's hit hard. If it stays fair, it's gone. It is a fair ball. Home run, Kurt Gibson. We're going to go back and analyze that swing because that showed you his power. Now Gibson is 17th home run of the year. And it's a 4-0 Tiger lead.
Watch Kirk Gibson commit himself. This is really a ball hit off the front foot. Now watch, he commits, and now he hits it with his arms. You talk about strong. You've got to be tremendously strong to hit a ball that hard. He led with his elbow. That head followed. Tremendous shot. Mercy.
And that got out there in a hurry. Here's Lance Perry. Now let it play. I'll say one thing about the Tiger hitters. They say, if Scott McGregor, if you're going to pitch to us, we're going to go to swinging. And that's what they have done.
That's his 7th home run in the last 17 games for Gibson. He has been red hot.
That's out of play, and very quickly the count is 0-2.
He hit that ball off his front foot, did he?
That hit not off. He did everything there that you would say can't be done. Hit off your front foot that far, drag with your hands, and then turn your hands over with the barrel of the bat coming at the top and just hit a rope out of here.
A power-hitting Harvey Keene was what he was there. Detroit fans are familiar with that.
Oh, yeah. That's hit hard. Foul down the left field line. That had home run depth. And that will ring the bell in the bullpen, as Earl Weaver says. Well, I don't know. There's Kenny Rowe, his new pitching coach. Since Ken, right, said Ray Miller went over to manage the Minnesota Twins. Cued off the end of the bat. McGregor will take that. And that'll do it. Side is retired. But your way on Saturday, the 20th of July, live in that rematch. ABC Sports is proud to announce that on that Saturday, Wide World of Sports will feature the long-awaited rematch of 3,000-meter runners Mary Decker Slaley and Zola Budd. That'll be live from London, England. Slaney and Budd, they'll share the track for the first time since their controversial race, you remember, in the 1984 Summer Olympic Games. Plus, Olympic boxers Mark Breland and Pernell Whitaker, they continue their flawless professional careers, all coming your way on ABC's Wide World of Sports. And right here, Baltimore trying to get back into it as they go to the top of the order. It'll be Dwyer, Lacey, and Ripken, the top 3 in the order. Hit foul by Jimmy Williams on that first baseline. Dwyer walked his first time at bat. He was left stranded. Baltimore had runners at first and third in the first inning. And then Murray hit into a very quick 4-6-3 double play to end the inning.
Kind of turned that momentum around, didn't it?
Boy, it sure did. And also, Baltimore had runners at first and second in the second inning. That goes all the way to the backstop. A ball and 2 strikes to count.
Lance Parrish looked like he was crossed up on that. You don't usually get crossed up unless there's a man on second because you give it only one sign.
Well, either that or he said it's too high to go up there. There's nobody on, so give me a new one. There's the American League score. First inning, California 2-0 over Texas. And National League, it's now 3-0. The Dodgers over Cincinnati. That's in the third. Oral Hershiser on the mound for the Dodgers tonight. Boy, he's having a fine year. What a matchup they're going to have tonight at San Diego in that Western Division of the National League. Lamar Hoyt and Nolan Ryan. The Astros and the Padres right here. It's 4-0. Detroit over Baltimore. 4-4-0 for the Tigers. 0-2-0 for Baltimore as that's hit on the line to Gibson and right, one away.
And that's that fat strike you were talking about, Don, that you can afford to throw with 3-2 on the hitter when you got a 4-run lead. The worst thing in the world you can do in a situation like that is walk a guy and have a team first and third you to death.
Boy, that's true. They can catch up in a hurry doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to throw that strike that's a little, you might say, we refer to it a little wild in the strike zone if you're not trying to do it. But if you're trying to do it, you'd prefer to keep it down. Lacey fouls that breaking pitch away. Look right there. Last week's the highest averages. Lee Lacey at 435. What about Spike Owen? Look at that, 474 out of the University of Texas. Wade Boggs, you might figure him to get hot somewhere along the line. Lacey had been leading off at times for Baltimore this year, but recently he has been moved in the order to that second spot. Most of Lacey's career has been either in that first or second spot. Wide of Brookins. There's the shortstop, Flynn. 2 gone. So that very well could be a little thought process in the back of Earl Weaver's mind with the acquisition of Alan Wiggins, who is a leadoff hitter, getting Lacey used to hitting in that second spot. And when all the pieces of the puzzle come together, why, there won't be any stranger involved.
He'll get a lot more fastballs, I'll tell you that, just like Tony Gwynn did last year in San Diego.
That is one thing that hitters will tell you, hitting behind the speedster. It straightens out the wrinkles. As Ripken looks at the curveball down low. 1-0 the count.
It's funny how you mentioned Wade Boggs getting hot. Here Boggs second in the American League in hitting, batting .333, and he's done it with the greatest of ease. He hasn't even been hot yet.
I'll tell you, it's something. Wade Boggs, what a hitter he is. Ripken pulls to Brookins on the big hop. On to Evans, and that'll do it. Baltimore gone 1-2-3 in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and they leave nobody. So we're through 3 from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, where the Tigers lead Baltimore 4-0. Come out before Herndon gets to home plate.
Larry Herndon just illustrating that balls that are down go as far as balls that are up. If they're inside, watch this ball down and in, and all you have to do is just drop the bat head on it, and that's what Larry Herndon does. You don't need that full extension when the ball is down and in. The lift is there, the power is there. Larry Herndon with his 6th home run of the year. Boy, the Detroit Tigers got their hitting slippers on tonight. Woo.
So Scotty McGregor trying to gain control once again, Timmy, real early.
Yeah, well, the Detroit Tigers have their left-handed hitting lineup in there, or against left-handed pitching. That's why Weaver makes the change for the right-hander. Sammy Stewart, 2-3, his 26th appearance of the year. 3.88 ERA, 55 2/3 innings worked, and unusually, Sammy Stewart has 5 saves this year. Gives you an idea of how ineffective the short men have been for the Baltimore Orioles. He's usually a long man.
He has been in different situations, and of course, Stewart with the 5 saves, that will lead the Baltimore staff. As you look at Evans taking a strike, Darrell homered his last time at bat, hitting .264, 14 home runs, 32 RBIs. There's a strike in the count. 0-2. So you look at that Baltimore staff. Ossie with a pair of saves. Tippy Martinez has 3. Snell has 3, and Stewart has 5. 13 total. Got him lucky. We'll check some American League scores. Milwaukee 3-0 over Boston. That's in the second inning. You've got California and Texas now tied at 2 in the second inning.
Designated hitter.
Pete O'Brien hit the 2-run home run for the Texas Rangers to tie it down in the Lone Star State at Arlington Stadium. Here's Alex Sanchez. Sanchez, a designated hitter. He takes a strike. Stewart, when he is right, he can be tough.
He's the antithesis of Scotty McGregor. Scotty McGregor, one changeup after the other, and spotting his fastball. Stewart comes right at you.
He's got a good fastball, good hard slider. You'd have to classify Stewart as definitely a power pitcher. Really among the top 5%. As Sanchez goes down on strikes. And that'll do it. Side retired. Rayford forgot how many outs there were. But 1 out. 1 run hit, no errors, and nobody left. 5-0. Detroit over Baltimore, and we'll return with ABC's Monday Night Baseball after this message and news headlines from
very soon. And at the same time, the Reagan administration is talking about striking back at terrorism. One of our stories right after Tiger Baseball.
Well, you can look at that night game marked 4-0, and I think you could probably attribute that to that split finger fastball. A little tougher at night to pick up the spin of a ball, Timmy, compared to 1 and 2 in the daytime. As you look at Eddie Murray.
He really wasn't that impressive last year at Evansville. He was 9 and 10. That is Randy O'Neal. But he did come up with that split finger fastball in September, taught to him by Roger Craig, and it's made a different pitcher out of it.
That pitch taken down low. Well, it doesn't appear that he is the overpowering type pitcher, but the command is there. It appears that the poise is there. Just 25 years of age. Matter of fact, it's only his 5th year in professional baseball.
Number 1 selection in June 1981.
Last year at Evansville had a record of 9 and 10 and a 3.57 ERA. He was 2-1 with the Tigers in 4 games. That's hit to left field. Coming on in a hurry is Herndon. He is there and makes the catch.
Not a classic Eddie Murray swing with the count 2-0, looking for the fastball, and Eddie hitting it the other way. If you pull that ball foul down the right field line, you know you're in the groove, but when you hit it the other way, you're a little slow on a pitch that you're expecting.
That's exactly right. When you get up in the count like that, manager, they won't say too much if you hook it foul in the seats.
Right.
You hit it the other way, and they said, oh, what did he do? Here's Freddie Lynn as he takes a strike 0-1. Freddie singled his first time at bat.